Well, I think this is probably going to be the last video before I show you the map, the special edition map. So I'm kind of glad to be showing this because it gives me another opportunity to kind of, throw this map out and out at you, kind of thing, and go, okay. So hopefully to get a bit more of a impact. So what the heck? Yeah, because I barely have anything left to do. I'm just doing like minor tweaks. I just wanted to enhance the trench, like to indicate where trenches were. I wanted to use for the entrenchment Alberto markers. I wanted to uh, use a lowercase e instead of an uppercase e. I just find it looks a lot better. What else? I did make some notes. Also, I am realizing I'm getting to the point now. I was like, okay, stop, Chris. You got to stop tweaking. Like I was like, well, this color's not, blah 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 blah. And I was just like, stop. You have to remember this is not the final product. And even like when I get to Caporetto, you can forget the counters I was using for that. That they're gone. Well, I'm not gone. I'm gonna probably keep them or give them to like Rob's kids or something. Um, but like I'm going to be using this type of format when you see the special edition counters and so on and so forth. I'm going to be going that route, and I'm sure I'm going to be learning more when I do the Caporetto thing. And I am learning so much. Like yesterday was just about contrast constantly. I mean, it was like the theme for the day when I was looking at all this stuff. It was just like contrast, 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 and look. And colors in relation to other things. So once I started putting more things onto the counters, like more Alberto markers were going onto the counters, that's all these colors. Because at first I was like, well, maybe I should be using more vibrant colors for the cavalry here and so on and so forth. But when you start putting in relation to other things, it can a bit of eye fatigue. But then on the flip side, I was like, okay, I'm going to start using levels of saturation dependent on how important I think the information is for like at a glance. So like at a glance information, I want that type of information to pop a lot more than, let's say, whether or not that position is entrenching. I want to know what army they're under command of a bit more. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way I'm looking at saturation levels and how muted something is and how bright it is or how much it pops. So I'm looking at it that way. Yet another level of trying to squeeze out every little freaking bit of counter real estate. So anyways, yeah, it seems to be working in my mind. What else can I say? Doodly doodly doo. Oh yeah, here's my special die. It's not a D6 I would use playing against somebody else. I've had this probably since I was a kid. It's wood. I had to repaint the pips inside, so now I've screwed with the weight. But it was the first D6 I started using when I got back into hex and counter thing, and I'm like extremely superstitious about certain things. Like if, if something doesn't go, like, well, I can't do that anymore, or whatever. It's just like you should see even when I'm picking out the freaking Alberto markers. I'm like, well, you can't put that four on that six. Like Chris, you gotta. Anyways, this is like holy f. That's amazing. I get anything done for Christ's sakes. But I've had this thing, yeah, since I was a kid. I have no idea where it's from. Like it's super lightweight but tough. It's that's the one I'm going to be using. What else? I know. I'm sure there was a few other things. Yeah, color in relation to other things. And yet again, when I started putting more and more stuff onto the new special edition map, Alberto's original colors started making a lot more sense. When I found they were naked just by themselves, they weren't popping as much. But now with everything else, they're making a lot more sense because it's the contrast between the background and the information in the foreground. And I'm like, okay, okay. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, I should be able to show it this weekend because the next one's going to be the map, and I've got 99.9% of it done. I just want to pop the new, but yet again, I'm letting it dry. I kind of rushed last night, and now I'm gluing in. It's let the glue from the glue stick dry, and it will eventually turn hard as a rock. But if I don't, even just the slight little movement with the scissors, just that, I guess that incredible pressure. If it's not completely dry, you will get just a slight movement between the paper and the, yeah, and I'm not, of course, not using 24-pound bond or 22-pound or any of that crap. I'm using 28-pound bond paper for the top of the counter. So I would even like to go to 32, but yeah. Anyways, okay, that's it, I think. Yep. All right. Hope you have a great Friday. Bye.